This section of the DevTest Product Expert Training will cover managing your team members and groups. Specifically, we'll talk about defining account types and privileges, adding team members to your system and project, creating team groups and folders, and using account types and groups with other features. We'll start by taking a look at defining account types and privileges. Each DevTest project type has its own set of privileges that will determine what activities a user in each project can do and what they can see. Let's start in the template-based project, for example. By taking a look at the account type page in the DevTest template-based project admin, you'll see that I'm able to create new account types or modify existing account types. Depending on a user's account type, their privileges in each view will be determined. So for example, while a QA manager may be able to perform all tasks in the template view, a QA lead might not be able to delete or move a template folder or delete a template. You can add additional account types as needed to define extra levels of security for your users. These account types will also allow you to determine who has access to the report view. And if you want to use advanced access control, you can even determine on each page whether a user will see certain fields, certain pages, and whether that content might be read-only instead of invisible. Each project in DevTest, as I mentioned, will have its own set of account types and privileges, so that for each user that would have access to, say, the template view, you would need to configure them in the template project, and then if you want them to have permission to create test cycles or to execute tests, they would also be needed to be added to the work project. Now that we've learned how to create an account type, the next place we'll look is the user manager and learn how to add new users to the system. By clicking on the user manager button, I will then see the user manager and I'll be able to click the new button below to add a new user. So I'll add Jason H, and we'll add this user to the system. At this time I can decide to make them a system or project administrator too if I wish. This will give them access to the admin client and to either configure specific projects or to configure the system level settings, including the user manager. Now that I've created a new user, I can select that user, click on the profile button, and this will give me the ability to add that user to a particular project. I can also do that by opening up that individual project and moving the user also, but this is a quick way to do it. So I can go ahead and click is a project member and select the account type that I wish for them to have. I can also add them to groups, and in just a moment we'll take a look at how you might configure groups in the DevTest admin. In any DevTest project, I can add groups. A group will allow me to group users of different account types together into a group. These groups will be used for filtering users, so that when I'm looking at the list view I can select a group to see various users of different account types together. It can also be used for reporting data. We also have a concept called a group folder, which can actually own issues, so that if you want to assign issues to a particular bucket or folder, and then allow users to pick them out based on their permissions, you can use a group folder for that. Account types and groups will also be used in features like the workflow settings and email notification, as well as other settings too within the DevTest admin. As we approach other features in these training videos, we can talk at length about how your group or account type will be affected. In some of the other expert training videos, we'll explain how account types, groups, or group folders affect those features.